I show is hungry. So I am not big on breakfast. Breakfast. I don't care how you say it. I'm not big on it. But my brother's in town from Georgia. So I had to get a little funky, you know what I'm saying? So I just had some bacon left over from when I made some bacon mac and cheese the other night. So I decided, okay, throw that on a pan, on a lined what is this, wire rack pan. I sprinkled a little brown sugar on top. I think I sprinkled about maybe a teaspoon of brown sugar on each piece of bacon. Kind of rubbed it, patted it in a little bit. And I just put it in the oven on, I think it was 400 for about 25 minutes until it got nice and crispy, but not burnt, but not undercooked. And then I was like, all right, let me do some taters, you know what I'm talking about? So I got about 5 potatoes. Oh, they were all about medium size, nothing too big, nothing too small. And I just shaved those up a little bit. As you can see, I am recording for TikTok as well as YouTube. And boy, was that challenging. Your girl was struggling, all right? Your girl was struggling. But I made it work. I made it work. So I take my potatoes and I usually cut them in half and then cut them in half again and then I cube them. That's usually how I do it for most of my potato and whether it was breakfast potatoes or anything else. So anytime you're working with potatoes, whenever you shave them, whenever you cut them, put them back in water. Submerge them in some cold water while you work on the other potatoes. Because if you don't, it will start to turn black, and that is not good. Don't nobody want no black potatoes. Okay? So make sure after you get to take the skin off, you submerge them in water. I feel like I had to say that because it might be some of y'all out there that don't know that. Your girl just saying. So y'all already know how I get down with the seasonings, okay? We know this already. Trust me, my food isn't salty, okay? A lot of people's like, oh, that's too much sodium. That's too much salt. That's too much sodium. I use mostly powdered garlic powder, onion powder, paprika. My complete seasoning has a little bit of salt in it, but not much at all. I detailed all my measurements in the comments below. You see, I measured one thing, but I didn't measure everything else. So I'm gonna give you guys a kind of a guesstimation, a measurement-ish type thing. So don't be mad at me, but once I get in the zone, I get in the zone and I can't help it. I just forget to get the little measuring cup. And I want to get like a new like spice rack and I want to put all my seasonings in the same size container so I can dip my measuring spoons in there and it can be 10 times easier. So I'm working on that. That's my next DIY project. So I coated the bottom of the pan just enough to coat the bottom and some avocado oil. You can use grapeseed oil, you can use olive oil. I use avocado oil. And that was for me to get it a little bit crispy. So I wanted to be crispy, but I wanted to be soft. If that makes any sense. Like I want the crunch on some of the sides, but not all of it. I like my potatoes in the morning kind of mushy. You know, that's just me personally. But the seasoning was so good you couldn't even tell anything, whether it was mushy or crunchy. So I just coated it a few bit. I made sure it didn't burn up. You see my little cracks over there. Um, I just kept stirring every few minutes. Finally, when I got it to where it looked like it started to cook, I threw some butter. That's why I said butter. I threw some butter in there, and I put the top on it and let it cook with the top on. That way, it cooked quicker. So you see how I do my cooking. I start with the thing that's going to take the longest amount of time and I work my way down. So the bacon was going to take about 25 minutes. The potatoes, depending on what kind of heat you had on and how many potatoes you have, it take about 15 minutes. So I did that second. My pancakes takes about 7 minutes. And eggs just quicker than that. So I like to have my food all end at the same time. Okay? So because I don't like breakfast food, I don't have pancake mix in my house. I used to, and it was spoiled. So I was like, you know what? It's nothing but flour and some other ingredients. I make my own damn pancake mix. So I got some flour, some bacon. I want to say baking soda. Yep, baking soda. And some little bit of salt. Mixed it up. Mix the dry ingredients up. Then I threw some vanilla extract, some butter extract, or you could do melted butter. I just like butter extract. Some sugar and an egg, and some milk. I use a cup of milk and I adjust it how I need it to. So I think I might end up using a cup and a quarter of milk. I like to have my pancake mix batter thick. I don't like that runny pancake batter. Okay, I like my joint with a little thickness to it. Okay, so I adjusted it. But if you like yours watery, you could add a little bit more water. If you want to get funky with it, add some blueberries, add some cinnamon powder, however you want to get funky with it. So my eggs, I didn't butter my pan because I had the Aisha Curry pan set plug. And I don't need to butter my pan. It's non-stick literally. So I ain't gotta worry about my eggs sticking to the bottom of the pan. So I start cooking my eggs. Everybody know that's the last thing you make in breakfast. Don't you make them eggs early. Don't you do it. Okay? So just make your eggs. I end up using a silicone. I didn't like it, so I end up going to my wooden. I mainly like to use wooden utensils. Don't use no silver utensils or no what's that, metal utensils on your non-stick pans. Y'all been trying to get me to go crazy in here. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Okay? So, like I was saying, I used that. It was good. I used this Waffle House type thing where you put the cheese at the bottom, let the cheese melt first, and then you stir the cheese in once it's melted. Yes, I use American cheese. That's my business. Okay? Are you in it? Don't do that. Okay? I like melted cheese, American cheese. That's what I grew up on. That's what I'm gonna use. I might get a little funky here and there. Might want to use what's that called? Shredded cheese and all that stuff. But I use that. You see how the cheese bubbling? Woo! Okay, so yep, that's my breakfast. Make it like once a month probably. That's all I got for y'all. Bye.